Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Now,
back canopy. Susu sang pine, Pia want to Nambia, a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you can see about Kotoso. People got sending me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange waiting in Suya. Unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. What is send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
They can promise to look alike. Charlie can promise to fresh boy. Everybody just starts. Fine. We all have throwback Thursdays. But I know be this one.
Once again, we are back to discuss issues relating to the arts and entertainment with a touch of wit. Hello and welcome to eForum on GhanaWeb TV. The name is Abrantipa. Today we are looking at the celebrity lookalikes, and later on we'll focus on Jidubliambule and KOD. I'm sure you've been following the events, a bit of back and forth, but Romeo, Ambassador Romeo is Medina Assemblyman and Medina Social Welfare Assemblyman, event organizer, artist, manager, a poet, former comedian. Romeo, Romeo, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
If you are fine, Medina for say. Kwesi Martinez is a film producer and then entertainment analyst. Kwesi, thanks for joining us. If you are fine.
Oh, you're
last time, I think Sena Miche TV's, I've forgotten the channel. And I am say, oh, apparently, Metania, say me look alike, Netiso. Where's your look alike, Anna?
Darby.
When you say, Romeo, shall look alike.
As will be 7 by me,
Made a time. But you see, this, I think the last time we had this conversation was when the whole thing started. There was this Kwame Eugene look-alike who took a picture with Kwame Eugene at, I think, Angel FM Studios also. And since then, we've seen Kiddy, and now there is Medical, there is King Promise. This is what Timo, and they are going for interviews and are you comfortable with the fact that we have all these celebrity lookalikes all over, wherever you pass, and the fact that they are coming out with even a song and they are going around for radio interviews?
I don't have a problem with people having that craze or crave of looking like someone, or the fact that there seems to be some little resemblance, so they want to capitalize on it to show themselves to fame. But my problem has to do with the media houses, giving audience to people of sorts. My reasons being that there's a lot of underground artists who are doing well, who are looking for avenues to project their jobs, their works. These people are not giving the opportunity, but there's a group of people who are capitalizing on other people's fame. And you're giving them audience at the expense of the original artist. Like, sort of like having a parody replica account, and then someone is running an interview, and sometimes to some extent they end up even performing their songs. Remember this guy? I think he's late. The guy who was Anochi Supremo. You know, he had that kind of in all sense, even the voice, everything looks. You would think is actually Lumba's son. That's how other people projected him to be, and for him, his stance was even that he saw Daddy Lumba as a father. So he wanted to get close, so that he will also, through that, he'll be modeled and become someone better. But then Daddy Lumba also didn't like the idea, because it looks like I'm a legend, I'm rated high, and before someone gets me to perform, people go through so much. People only hear of me when they are playing my song online, or it's a CD or pen drive or whatever. But if it has to do with performance, it has to go through me. But Anochi Supremo was doing those like mini performance, so people will not miss the real Daddy Lumba, because they could have, even if not the originality, they could have someone who could deliver that flavor. And it's bad business. Honestly, it's bad business. It's a different ball game if the person has a band, and then you join the band, and you are performing together. You're also building your CV or repertoire of sounds, so that in future, even when you're alone, like the Ofurian Ponsers, who later became men of their own, it's fine. But picking the person's image and feeding from it, for me, it's a no-no. Just like social media, if not for the blue ticks on Twitter and then that of Facebook, it's easy for people to have a parody account to act like someone, and it's criminal. So my problem is not even with the people. My problem has to do with the media houses who are giving audience to those people, and everyone will start using anyone's image, or in the name of look-alike. You get it? No, like it doesn't sit well. Maybe problem in media houses, no. Because there are a lot of people in the fray who are looking for opportunities.
But these people too may have talents. You heard me say that they are coming out with a song, and there are quite a number of people who seem intrigued by the fact that they have a song.
Abrantipa, until recently, where they're having a song together, most of them perform. When you talk about Kiddy look-alike, you try performing Kiddy's song. If you talk about even the guy like the medical look-alike, he tried to rap like medical. You get it? The looks fine. People look up to people, but the commercial aspect is where my problem is. You get it? When artists are even struggling to make shows, to even get to find avenues to even promote their things, if not for social media. And then these people are occupying all those spaces, which in real sense were meant for the original artist. So it makes it very difficult.
Martinez, if you were one of these artists and you are not being impersonated, but people are coming to me for the mere fact that I look like you, so they want me at an event, not to perform your song, but I mean, this is Kwame Eugene look-alike, this is Kiddy look-alike. They are not impersonating you in any way. They have not gone to take any money to say, I am Kwame Eugene, I'm coming to perform. Would you be perturbed?
Well, it depends. I mean, if there's that communication, if I'm actually aware of what is going, if it's explained properly or clearly for me to actually understand the whole vibe, maybe I might not be that angry. Might be cool with me because, like you said, I think Romeo rather Anoche Supremo, Dio Jr. They met Lumba, and at the point they even performed together. Lumba was happy to see him because it's very interesting. There's that belief that every human being is created 3 or 4. And so you one day meet someone that challenge yourself, you see yourself in that person. When it comes to look-alike, it's normal. Even our kids start from home. Okay, your daughter or your son, that's your look-alike. But where maybe the media gives it attention is the fact that these are celebrated people or personalities, and we have some guys or some people from nowhere just looking like them. Definitely, attention will be given to them. Not as maybe promoting them, but it's news, it's story, it's entertainment. You get it? So, for me, I think it's normal. It's cut across celebrities having looks alike around, especially when you go into the football circles. We've seen Neymar look alike, and he looked just like Neymar. We've seen Messi. At a point, he became a very huge problem, especially with the Messi look-alike, because there was rumor that he has conned 23 women. Allegedly, he has conned 23 women. Because when they see him, they think that's Messi.
One of the points Romeo raised was that it's affecting the original acts, because the attention that should have been given to them, which you have addressed. I mean, the point of the media. There are some who say that what they are doing, what the lookalikes are doing, will increase the streams of the original acts. Is that the case for you? Do you see that, or that's far-fetched?
I understand where Romeo is coming from, because obviously, whether we like it or not, they will take something from the artist. It doesn't matter them maybe playing shows or performing to people, that aside. But once you see them, attention will be switched to them. So clearly they take something from the artist. At a point you might not feel comfortable, depending on how attention is given to him or her. And that is where Romeo is coming from. For the first time, once you spot them, it is news. But when we give them too much attention, or when we give credence to their image, that is where it somehow becomes right, because you give them some kind of recognition, and at a point they will feel big, they feel like they are stars. In fact, they will act like them. Maybe they might, like I said earlier, they might not play shows in the name of the artist, but there are certain advantages that they will be, exposed to or introduced to, and they will take them. Because let's say Kwame Eugene look-alike travels to
Nkranza
or Fanchinebra. They probably people out there who have not seen Kwame Eugene before. That's the real Kwame Eugene. When they meet him, Charlie, that guy go fit take advantage for them. You get it? Unless we in the capital city, that we are more,
exposed to him.
Yes. Apart from that,
the picture Kwame Eugene took with one of them, and then even Kiddy, would you say that was
an endorsement
of a sort?
Yeah, I feel it's also an issue because these are things people capitalize on and start swindling people. And it's easy to do because these are people, they say, okay, they have references, that's with pictures and even videos, with even interviews to back their claims. And then, okay, here am I. Perform videos, video. Go online and pull one of these stories where, and then we get it. Whatever they would have done before, you realize, oh, why job baby. So I'm looking at the swindling aspects, the image rights. You get it. People struggle to make names for themselves, and even with the streams, celebrities are not getting enough, and then you have people tapping out of those numbers, which are not enough. Of course, it will take so much from them. For me, I think it should be shattered right from the word go, and the media should call in and rather create spaces for underground artists. You know, you remember this guy? Is it Barry, the guy who I met him here some time ago.
Who?
Thank God you left. What your ex left you for me? Bakadabri.
Yeah.
See, there are people doing good stuff who will need the avenue to promote good things.
But Romeo, beyond what you are saying, don't you feel any form of excitement in the industry with the presence of these people?
Maybe I don't fancy that celebrity thing.
Okay.
But I feel the people's brands.
Stake.
Yeah, branding is sensitive, and if care is not taken, if there's a dent, let's assume this one of them ends up committing sort of a serious vice like rape or something, and it's come Eugene look-alike, and people are using that. You realize they are on billboards. Maybe the person would really want to do, but say, oh, this guy can do. When they see him, they might not even think twice. They might think he's the one. So let's just use him at a cheaper cost. You are killing someone else's business. So in all facets of the entertainment benefits, in terms of image, revenue raking, streams, they affect. And in the long run, people might think it's just for the fun of it. But here they are trying to come up with a song, and they will be using the parody names attached to them, and they'll be promoting their songs, and people will be streaming at the expense of the original artist. So the authentication is being eroded.
Fine, you don't like what they are doing. Any panel was a Kwame Eugene, and people say yes or say no. What should he do with the image that he has now, so that it will have a positive influence on them, in order not to affect the original Kwame Eugene?
Okay, Abrantipa, in elsewhere, there are replicas of presidents or leaders, so that if the president isn't well and there is sort of an outdoor event, someone is seated, the person wouldn't speak, just that the presence of the president is needed, so that person is put in state. Meanwhile, the president is indisposed, maybe sick or bedridden or something, and then they put the person there. You get it? To cover a situation. That is how lookalikes are used elsewhere. For instance, our president here, if maybe he's in America, but no one knows he's in America, and then maybe he's going for treatment, and security-wise, they didn't want anyone to know he's out of the country. They get a replica to sit in for him, and he looks like him. I've seen someone is within the government who looks like President Akufo-Addo. Maybe you've not noticed. You get it? There was even an issue of Adjasa for someone who looked like her. It was alleged that the person sat in for a while Adjasa was in the States. So all these things, like, they have the benefits in terms of in real life. So you can look like Kwame Eugene, but you're a medical doctor by profession. You don't have to perform Kwame Eugene's songs elsewhere to prove that you are his lookalike.
Martinez,
Boss.
Yeah, what should these people be doing with their lives?
With these guys, I mean, you watch the video, they have come together. I don't get it.
The synergy.
It's an association. You have come together for what?
Look alike.
So it's like there's an agenda to go out there, search for any guy who
they've been
looks like
asking for investors.
What is the meaning? You see, that is where the problem comes. Yes, for Kwame Eugene look alike. I mean, like you said, he has met Kwame Eugene, and it looks like he has gained some endorsements. Because once you take a picture with him, that's endorsement. Because if you Kwame Eugene appreciated the fact that wow, this is, you know, something amazing. Fine, but if you are a musician, be yourself. When you try to sound like Kwame Eugene, because you have the looks, now you try to dress like him, you try to create the same hairstyle, you try to talk like him. That is dangerous.
You will not get any credit because everything will be given to Kwame Eugene.
You are not being fake. You get it? Yes, you look like him. After all, everybody looks like somebody. But when you come together and you are now trying to rap like Medical because you are Medical look-alike, you try to sing like Mr. Drew because you are Mr. Drew look-alike. What's the agenda? You come together and what? Call for investors. It makes no sense, especially with the King Promise guy. It's an insult to King Promise.
He says
the King Promise look alike. It's an insult. Charlie King Promise is fresh boy. Everybody gets stats. Fine. We all have throwback Thursdays. But I know be this one.
Yeah. See, I have a lot of Promise in my earrings. You see them real, like look alike.
That this is the real.
Even the ones I know, they are barbers.
He was in earrings like King Promise. One of the videos I saw, they were entering a house or something, and he was in earrings. When you look at him from sideways, yeah, you see him to be King Promise wearing earrings, but when you look at him directly, he doesn't look like King Promise. Familiar look alike. Charlie, what did they do? It be embarrassing.
Right. So that's Kwesi Martinez. He's a film producer. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about KOD and GhanaWeb. Welcome back. You're watching E-Forum on GhanaWeb TV. The name is Abrantipa. I'm doing this with McDonald Nane Asari, aka Ambassador Romeo, and Kwesi Martinez. So last week we spoke about Ambule and KOD, high life musician Ambule, and radio personality, event organizer, MC, fashion designer KOD. For those who may not be aware, Ambule grants an interview, says VGM is an enemy to high life music, and that's because nkofo bonyum na se reggae kra na se omo use the Chi language, you know, so I say a high life. So more or less categorization is a problem. And so KOD did a post and, you know, berated Ambule. Then Ambule grants an interview and says that KOD is a child. He's a shallow-minded, and is the reason why he said those things. I'm going to Europe tour. I'm going on a Europe tour in May next year. My music, Ambule's music, and in June, I'll be back on tour. So when he sits and talks, can he take his clothes on tour as a designer like the way I am going to tour with my music? Can he take his DJing on tour like the way I am going on tour with my music? If these people talk, you know they are shallow-minded. So KOD comes back and says he is giving his final words on it. He comes out with an epistle. I'll read it quick, then I'll get your submissions. Final words to Ambule. Lee won't sit on the VGMA board in and out for over 20 years and allow high life to die.
That's Lee Dodu.
No, Lee.
Lee. Okay.
Lee, as in that's his Nikki, KOD. Okay. And allow high life to die when he's played, produced, and managed some of the best high life songs and artists for almost 30 years. Celebrated high life musicians like Amanziba, Mr. Simons, Okreku Mante, Andy Dusty, Dinah Hobson, Kiki Bansin, and many great music talents and proponents won't sit and allow VGMA to be a curse to high life when they sit on the board. it will take only an ungrateful artist to ever suggest VGMA is a curse to high life. I typically wouldn't have commented when Ambule said the VGMA is a curse to high life, but I realized he's done lots of loose talks in the last couple of years, especially against his own colleagues and to people who should look up to him in the music industry. Choosing to make that unfortunate comment about VGMA in public, I decided to respond as a prominent member who is being part of the VGMAs and the board for over 20 years. Ambule made vitriolic attacks on Stonebwoy, Daddy Lumba, and many of his colleagues these last few years. What's wrong with him? Since 1972, how many musicians from Takoradi has he produced or helped to the top? Hasn't he contributed to High Life's demise? If it's all about himself, every creative has the responsibility to evolve over time, else they go still. At a legendary status, one earns his place in their chosen field and endeavor, and should not make mediocre statements against his colleagues filled with malice and reckless baloney. That's not the place. That's not the place of an icon. I know it's hard to learn to be left-handed in one's old age, but I guess Ambule could learn from the late great Papa Yankson, Joe Mensah, C.K. Man, A.B. Crenso, and the celebrated Pat Thomas. True men with noble characters who remember those who looked out for them. Lee, the small boy, as he describes me, supported him for almost 30 years of his career and made sure he was not left out when he facilitated the legends Glow signed up when they came to Ghana. He shouldn't forget his insincerity with how he handled himself in that space. I always knew this day would come somehow. That's how I know him. A charlatan. Wisdom is not a preserve of the old age and gray hair. There are old men in communities, families, but children often rise to lead. These are my last words to the great Ambule, our last from the good old Western stock. I still love music. Mic drops, and it comes with a picture of Jacob Echebilamte, Mactonto, KOD, Ambule at the VGMAs or Ghana Music Awards in 2002. I don't know if around that time, meaning they're not sponsor. So yes, Ghana Music Awards. Yes, Empa. Romeo, now when I started. Yeah, why you find the words so harsh? Exactly.
KOD's words were harsh. For me, honestly speaking, Ambule's opinion about VGMA in regards to High Life, it's his opinion, and for me, I wouldn't fight someone over such an opinion. Even when you are a board member of VGMA, you've served on the board and you know what the VGMA stands for, not to kill High Life. You don't comment on it. No, you see, when someone makes such scathing attack on you, it's your business to educate people, right, on the whole thing, so that you kill the ignorance which is being spread. But then I also find it a bit not okay with KOD Ambule's interview, where he referred to KOD as shallow-minded. It's too hard an insult. But if you study KOD's epistle, it's loaded with hard words, like real insults. And I was thinking that two wrongs never make a right. And okay, let's say, because on this side of our world, people would always shield the old ones and then ask the younger ones to forget. But KOD also came out to also prove that he's not a small boy. The fact that Ambule could even be his father or a big brother or uncle or something, he's not a small boy. So those languages, he also wasn't too okay with it. The real aspect I didn't like at all was when he said he has fed him before. It's not okay. You give someone bread at a particular moment was meant that you did good. So coming out to say tomorrow, if you're even giving someone water, the person will look at you twice. So yeah, you could have spoken your mind, could have attacked his works, and then even what he said to you could have just ignored the insults. But it's an epistle filled with so much insults. As a literature person, if you pick every word, if you want to analyze every word, it's naked insults. And that's not something we look up to. Young ones are looking, but if people have said what things about VGMA, even the real investors, the owners of the brand, do not come out to attack people. It dies out naturally. So for me, I'm not a fan of what KOD wrote, but it's also to mean that I support what Ambule said to KOD about being shallow-minded. If the child is not supposed to insult the adult is also not supposed to provoke the younger one. But KOD being that's energetic, you're vibrant and smart, intelligent, I didn't expect him to go to toe that line.
Martinez,
Boss,
you also think the words were too harsh?
oh yeah.
How should he have gone around it without the words that you consider as harsh? Maybe he doesn't see those words as harsh.
Boss, based on our orientations, everybody has his or her way of addressing issues or matters. And so we cannot direct KOD as to how he should go out. I mean, he's a full
grown man.
Yes. I was about to use a certain word before the grown
okay.
man. Yeah, but it will be proper. Yeah, so we cannot teach him his left from right. But there's a saying that silence is golden, especially when you built a certain reputation.
But they also say silence kills.
But it's still golden.
They say,
You see, when Ambule came out with those comments, asking whether he could tour with his clothing lines and DJing and all of that, so far, everybody I've heard commenting on that issue is actually in defense of KOD. So the people will fight for you. Because if you make a comment that you are wondering, you are asking if you could tour for, I mean, no, come on. So why would you even come back? And to me, I think he came to muddy the water. Because the KOD I know is a fine gentleman. Ambule over the years is known for, you know, I'm not saying he's not a fine gentleman, but we know he's outspoken, coming hard sometimes and all of that. So for me, I think it's all in defense of high life. It tells you how we cherish our identity, because Ambule's comment is based on the fact that he feels we need to protect high life.
Yeah.
Yes, and he feels VGMA currently, or let's say there are war schemes, and those who can be used as the front line, who can engineer this cause. Because once you're able to project a certain category in regards to high life as the ultimate, then some way, somehow, you are giving some relevance or recognition to high life. And then KOD also being a board member felt like, I mean, he's part of the scheme, and he also has to come in defense. And in doing so, I think he came hard at Ambule by saying it's nonsense. I mean, you can disagree and share your opinion devoid of insult. Maybe the word nonsense is not an insult. It means there's no sense in what you are saying.
No, contextually with a reply,
exactly.
It makes it an insult.
Yes. But to Ambule and to our African setting, if you tell an adult that what you said is actually nonsense,
say it in Chi.
It's an insult. Automatically, he or she will take it as an insult. So that is where Ambule also came in and went far, attacking KOD's brand. I mean, for him to come out with that clothing lines, it tells you how he has toiled for it. And so when you attack that, he will come hard at you. But if I were to KOD, I wouldn't go the way he went. But hey, that's him.
Quick one, how do they resolve this under 30 seconds? The two personalities at the VGMAs.
His final words. So I don't think he will come back, even if Ambule come back to address his final words. I think KOD shouldn't come back. And from what he posted, the last one, but he still love him, and he mentioned artists, great artists that have, you know, contributed massively that he loves, and Ambule is still included. So I don't see any hard feeling in this. It's all about share your view, let me share my view. With Georgia, we see the way forward, but sometimes the views come very hard, and it's normal. I mean, I don't see them fighting each other. It's just about disagreements.
Romeo, how did they resolve? How should they resolve this?
In a smart way, KOD should actually render an apology, and then the VGMA should release a statement. You see, the VGMA has evolved out of criticisms. You will not have all of us praise you. I'm one of the strongest critics of the VGMA. And when they also go well, we applaud them. So if someone comes out, he's one of the doings of high life. And he feels there was a year when Shatawale was giving
the high life song.
The high life song.
I know my level.
I know my level. So with all the people had their opinion, people share. So if he also felt that all these things have happened over the years, so he, in throwing out his 1 cent, he was overly emotional, and then talks about how the VGM is killing the high life. It's your business to educate the public, to make nonsense of what he said, but not saying nonsense of what he said. So now it's already done, and KOD's business as a board member, he wasn't even supposed to have revealed his membership status to the public.
No, I mean, they are done with their job, so...
No, but this is not the last time, this is not... So tomorrow, if Ambule's song appears on, and he is part of the board, so technically people will feel that he will not be... There won't be
and information units with ATI division staff to ensure that there's full compliance. But we have some challenges, and it's important to highlight these challenges as I bring our brief to an end. We need a lot more cooperation from public institutions. There are many public institutions that have rejected
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Now,
Obek Kanokre. Susu sang pine beer want to Nambia, a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you basically see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did a shade and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in so ye unbeatable. We should be promo code Dr. Like Menya £10, $10 and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. What is send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
It's not easy because needs payments are really not enough. So you put aside some money, you invest some money in bonds and T-bills so you can supplement the needs income with that. But right now, the investment is like zero. You're getting nothing at all. So it's not easy. You know, inflation and the difficulties that we are having. So we are being affected badly. And that is why we are back here.
And how long can you continue on this trajectory? What are your expectations from government?
I expect government to pay coupons and principals as they fall due. That's what I expect. I mean, we will do this for as long as it takes.
Very, very bitter, because if I wanted somebody to betray me, not the government, not the state, the one that I swore allegiance, even at the peril of my life. And if I didn't die in Cambodia, I didn't die in Liberia, I didn't die in Sierra Leone, I didn't die anywhere I was sent out, come back home. Now I used not to, but I take a lot of drugs. A lot of drugs.
Because you have to keep up with that lifestyle.
Yes, it's not a lifestyle. The body, when you are young, you don't feel it. I used to wear beard. When you are young, you feel very strong, and that is how I felt. And for that, I used that energy in the service of the state, in the service of the government. So at this time, when I'm virtually in the last part of my life here on earth, I don't expect to be treated this way. At least if I have to die, I want to die happy. You see, not to in the struggle for something that I have given to the person I trusted most. You see, that is my worry. And so that is what I say. If you are saying I feel betrayed, I say betrayal is a very mild, I don't know if you have another word, you see, but I really feel betrayed.
So you were here some few months, you are back here again. How long can you go on with this? And what's the expectation from government?
I expect that if the Commander-in-Chief sees that we are here struggling to get our own monies back, he will chip in a word so that we are giving our monies. We should not be treated this way. After all the sacrifices that we did for the country when we were young, when we had the ability to jump, run, and obey orders. Now go and rest. The little money too that I have, you say no, you will not give it. So how do I buy my medications and so on? How do I care for those who are looking up to me until I'm called home? You see, and I think that the government should think about it again and give us our money.
The minister exempted us. By exempting us, it meant that he told us that, look, I have this problem. This is how I'm going to solve it. But with you, you're okay. Stay out. I will take care of you. Whatever contract I had with you from the beginning, we'll go by that contract. That contract said that on the 1st of March or February or whatever, I'll pay you your coupon. Pay the coupon. On such and such a date, your bond will mature. I'll give it to you, you know. And before we take our coupons, what you need to spend, you spend. If you want to roll it over, you reinvest it. You collect your principal. If you don't need it immediately, you reinvest it. All of this stays in the banking system. Right now, when you get your money, you are pulling it out. So even that will hurt, you know, eventually to hurt the banking system, because we don't even want to leave it there. You know. So yes, that is where we are. Pay us our money and let us just take care of our needs.
Live here in Benin. I'm currently at a place called Casa de Papa, which is a very popular place in Benin. So I'm very excited. Even though it's a budget trip, I saved for this place just to experience everything here. So let's take a short tour. Let's see everything they have to offer. So yeah, let's go, guys. Casa de Papa is located outskirts from the main town. The option to get there was renting a minibus or going by motorbike. We opted for a motorbike, which cost us 2,500 safer. So this is the lake front, the lagoon front, which we're about to see soon. Good morning here from Casa de Papa. I'm going to have breakfast and yeah, so let's go have some breakfast. So guys, this is what I'm having for breakfast. Abigail is trying a local porridge. How does it taste like?
Like rice, no, like oblayu. Oblayu is made of maize, right?
It's made of maize,
yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's smaller.
It's smaller. Yeah, you can see. So this is what I'm having, and yeah, you're all invited. So guys, we are just walking towards the beach after breakfast. Oh, the place is really nice. It's a very huge resort. And
Bahava is that kind of thing.
Yeah. And so the resort is close to the sea and it's also close to the river. So they have two. There's a road in between the resorts, which you will soon see. So yeah, let's go to the beach. So this is their beach view. Hi, Abigail.
Hi.
It's time for the poolside and the kayak experience. So let's go, guys. So guys, Abigail is a tour guide and she also sells bikini. So if you like our bikini and our pants, let her know in the comment section. Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yes. So yeah, we are going to the poolside. We are ready to swim. Oh my goodness. Feels good, right? It feels so good. Have about 30 minutes before we check out. Checkout is at 12. So we are going kayaking. I got the ticket. It comes with accommodation for a night. So we are going kayaking on the lake, which is at the same premises as the Casa di what? Papa. Casa di Papa. So let's go, guys. We are going kayaking. So they have the 2-in-1, they have the 4-in-1, and they have the 1-in-1. So we opted for the 2-in-1 since we both know how to kayak. Yeah, let's see. Let's see, life jacket first. Yeah. Merci. They've made me speak French this trip. Has been so much fun. It brings us to almost the end. Yeah, this is our last activity before we leave the Casa di Papa. At this point, I just want to rest while Abigail kayaks. Abigail, continue kayaking. So yeah, it's been amazing. This is the view from here. From here. We're gonna have coconuts before we leave. Merci.
Thank you.
So guys, this brings us to the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed documenting the entire place of Casa di Papa. Since I came here with my friend, we are going to share our experience. Abigail, come. Come. So we're going to share our experience. How do you think the place was? How was the place? How was the experience here?
It's beautiful with the trees and nature. I think if you are a nature person, like you really love nature, this place is the best for you. The rooms are not like,
I think we had high expectations. We paid $100 for a night, and since we were coming together, we shared and paid. So yeah, it's not really worth the amount. I don't know, maybe because maybe because I think it's expensive, or maybe because I had so many expectations. But aside that, we only had breakfast here, and I think the breakfast was great. We had not a lot of options, but we had quite a number of options to choose from.
Breakfast was good.
Yeah,
so if you're a nature person, this place is the best for you. Okay, just come here and relax. That's okay. But don't expect too much for the rooms, especially.
Yes, but the place is really beautiful, very Instagram aesthetic, pleasing. So you can come here for like pictures. We really had a lot of pictures. If you're not following me on Instagram and you're not following Abigail too on Instagram, please do so. Visit Abigail's channel.
This is Sewa.
Yeah, show her some love. She's also a tour guide in Ghana, and we are also here to also find beautiful places in Benin if you want to add to our itinerary. So if you are in Ghana and you want to come to Benin, contact my lady.
Just contact me.
Yeah. So guys, until next time, we want to say bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Now,
back canocre. Susu sang quine, be a one ton and be a man in quine baby.
Mommy, you fish can see about Kotoso. People send me sick from Lemonade Finance while Brian did the shit and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in so unbeatable. We should be promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian dollars for the first transaction. What is send this guy coffee? Download to Lemonade Finance.
There's a growing trend of spousal killing in recent times. In a space of 2 weeks, there's been cases of people who opt for murder and killing of their spouses as a comeback in their relationship. We are here at 37 Station to gather views on this trendy issue. Come with us.
Everybody and how the person takes what happens to them. It's relationship. Some might let it go, some wouldn't let it go. They would like to take revenge because maybe might have invested in a fellow that he or she thinks, no, I need to get something back. The investment he or she did is expecting something in return, and if he doesn't get that thing in return, that's when some of them take those actions. But I don't think it's right to do for anybody to take an action against if the person refuses to love you back, or just let it go. Maybe you find another partner somewhere else. It looks like the ladies are really cheating the men. They are really cheating the men nowadays, and the men don't want to let go, so they just want to take revenge. If I don't get you, after everything that I've spent, if I don't get you, then I need to end your life. That's how. When it gets to these relationship stuff, my friend, sometimes it's about self-control. Some don't have self-control. Yes.
The thing is that this thing here is not about the security people like the police, because they can't be in your house to ensure that you don't kill someone, or because after all, if you're in a house with your girlfriend or you're in a room with your girlfriend, whatever goes on in the room is between you and her. You understand? So I think what we can do to curb this whole issue now is to educate the public about the issue. And I think that what is causing this whole thing is, I don't know, should I call it depression or... Yeah, because there are some people who like when they are depressed, they're not able to control themselves, so by they do all kind of crazy stuff and things like that. So I think we should educate the public about the issue. Yeah, I think that's what we can do as a nation to help.
Well, it depends on who you trust, and that's the problem. When you trust someone and then the person tends to hurt you in a way, sometimes you can't control yourself. So maybe that's what brings on. But well, that's how some people can't control themselves, and that happens. Charlie, who call relationship after yeah, I come a photocopy, never copy new room. That's what I say. Anyway, but let's say you are in a relationship. You should not, for now, like this generation, because you shouldn't rather put all your trust in it. Like, main kind of sense, like that was the person in a sense, like when you be grandpa, it won't pain you to the extent of killing the person.
That's it's men doing the killing.
Yeah, sure. But girls too can poison you. Be there.
It's not good that a guy should kill a lady because of abandoning or something. That one is unfair. For killing, I'm not sure I can kill. Yes. What I'll just do is because this can you have to do people. Yeah, so maybe how I'll feel is what I'll do. But for now, I can't tell you what I'll do to the lady. Exactly. It's very painful. Yeah, it's very painful. You see, nowadays, guys nowadays, they are not like our olden fathers that they forgive things like that. So you see, nowadays the street guys, especially.
Relationships are based on commitment. You understand? So if you are committed to something, I'm not sure you'll be willing to let go or let it slide. But then in this case where y'all say it's men doing the killing, fine, yeah, it's men doing the killing. I feel sometimes people are too emotionally attached to other people, and then it causes them to like lose their guard during certain circumstances. This one, it don't be security matter. It don't be security matter. You don't expect a cop to be lurching around in your house asking you what a girl is doing in your home. Like until maybe like further complaints are placed for them to like maybe set in. They can't just come into your home with their own will and then do whatever they want. I feel like they didn't place maybe their reports well, or maybe the kind of reports they were giving weren't factual, because sometimes people place prank calls and that kind of stuff. So that has made the security system to be loose.
Remember, no so yes, I didn't. Nya what as your back say, Ebia. Meanwhile, Ruby ma, and no chess say unko kumuno. What I say, because broken heart there, unya, it gives you experience. Yes, and the experience, man. I'm a who say, next time if I go into a relationship, I will not do this, I will not do that. It is that I did, and I have a problem with my woman. What I said, that means, what experience into what to do and what you are not supposed to do. You understand? But all in all, God is one. We are in end time. Don't forget that.
So you heard the thoughts and views of people on the issue of spousal killing that is growing in our community recently. What is your opinion as well? You can drop them in the comment section below. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, GhanaWeb TV, for more of such content. My name is William Na, reporting for GhanaWeb.
Ahead of the NCA's announcement of a code for citizens of Ghana to be able to check whether or not their Ghana cards had been used in multiple registration of SIM cards, there had been complaints by a number of persons that they had suspicions of this activity, or this illegality, as I should call it. So on the 27th of April this year, the NCA actually released a code, *402*1, which will allow citizens to be able to check whether or not their Ghana cards had been used in other registrations which they were unaware of. My name is Echi Atiso, and in this demonstration video, we'll be doing a real-time check of how effective or how active this *402*1 system is. So come along, let's try it out. So as you can see, this is my phone. I'm just going to key in the code from the National Communications Authority, *402*1#. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so it says kindly input your Ghana card personal ID number without the hyphens. So I have my details. I'm just going to input that without the hyphens, and then I reply. It says enter date of birth. Okay, and then there is also the year as well. Also reply. Okay, the system just stopped. I guess I might just have to try this again. So we're going to go through the same process. *402*1#. I send that. Okay, it sends me an error. Your request could not be processed. Please try again later. E150. We're just going to try the process once again all together to see if this works. Again, *402 *1 hash. There again, kindly input your details, your Ghana card details. I'm just going to do that without the hyphens, which is very important. Reply, date of birth. Okay. We're still at that point where the process delays. I'm still waiting to see whether I get feedback. And this is real time, so you can actually tell how long between when you issue the command and when you get a reply. So it's been close to nearly 30 seconds now. And again, that's a response from the system. It says your request could not be processed. Please try again later. E150. So it appears this is not working. I'm just going to try another phone. So this is my Android. I just want to try and see if it works here. *402 *1 hash. Let's see how this goes. This says yellow, kindly select an option. Okay, so there's an option here. It says option 1 is check SIMs and option 2 is cancel. So I'm going for option 1, check SIMs. Now this says enter your Ghana card details. So I'm just going to pick those details from here real quick. And take note that you need to enter these details without the hyphens. So then again, this one also tells me connection problem or invalid code. I want to believe perhaps I delayed a little, so I'm just going to go through it again. *402 *1 hash and see if this works real quick. So option 1, which is check SIMs. Now I enter my Ghana card details. Okay, now as for date of birth, I'm just doing that as well. So this says, sorry, the date of birth provided does not match with the registered details. Kindly check and enter the correct information. That's interesting. I just want to get this again. So we're going to go one last try. I hope this time I don't have to go back again. *402 *1 hash. Let's see how this goes. Option 1, which is check SIMs. Enter my details, date of birth, yellow, your request has been received successfully. Your registered phone numbers will be shared via SMS. Okay, so this actually went through. And actually just received a text message. Let's see about that. Text message from 402, and it shows me here that my phone number, which is my MTN, has only one registration, and then my Vodafone number actually has been registered with 2 numbers. There is a 020 number, which is not my Vodafone number, which is not my Vodafone number, and that's interesting. So that's been the process. It took me less than a minute to actually get through the system when I actually did. But as you saw throughout the video, there were several attempts. I tried first on my iPhone, and then that didn't work. Then I tried my Android, which eventually went through, I think after the 3rd try or so. But it's interesting to learn that my two numbers. One is an MTN, one is a Vodafone line. The MTN had only my MTN line registered to it, which was okay. Then my Vodafone actually has two numbers. One which is one of my numbers, which is my Vodafone number actually, and then a strange number, which I am unaware of. I don't know whose number that is because I've never seen that number before. It's quite interesting, and you could also try. What happened with my iPhone, I don't know, perhaps any other person could try. You could try and you get through. I'm unable to tell now whether it's a challenge with the kind of phone I'm using or not. Now the way forward is what happens. We've been able to check. I, for instance, have only one number that has my Ghana card registered to it on the Vodafone. What's going to happen is Vodafone Ghana going to delete these contacts off my Ghana card. Otherwise, how do we go forward from here? It's a question that begs answers, and we're hoping that the right people would see this and give us some answers. So that has been it. My name is Eche Atisu. This has been our demonstration of how to use the NCA's *402*1# system to check whether or not your Ghana card has been registered on other people's numbers without your knowledge.
The World Trade Organization's purpose is to enhance living standards of people, of its member countries, of which there are 164, help create employment and support sustainable development. So it's all about making people's lives better. And it is one of the three bodies, organizations created for economic governance of the world. It was the IMF, which you all know, the World Bank, and the WTO. The first two are based in Washington, the WTO in Geneva. And it governs the rules. It presides over the rules that govern world trade. So, for instance, if there were no WTO, it means that when Ghana tries to sell its cocoa, coffee, gold, oil, there's no predictability. The people you're selling to can charge you any customs duties or tariffs they want. Maybe they tell you they are going to charge 18%, but when the goods arrive, they say it's 100%. There are no rules, anything goes, so it becomes survival of the fittest. But when you're a member of the WTO, which takes years just to become a member, you have to do so many reforms, it means there are some basic rules agreed about how countries trade with each other, which type of tariffs they can charge each other, what type of rules they must obey when trading, so that when you sell your products, there's predictability. You don't have to fear that halfway on the ship, they are going to charge you something else or even stop the goods from coming in. So it is at the lifeline of survival for countries, because we all must trade to survive. So I wanted people to understand what it does, because I told people if they don't know what the WTO does on my continent and in my country, then we haven't started. So coming now to the specific issue which Dr. Mensah posed. What we tried to do at our ministerial conference last year, where Ghana was also quite active, is that we tried to look at those agreements that will be beneficial, especially to us here. There were some ongoing agreements that the WTO has been negotiating for many years without success, without being able to conclude, because it's a consensus organization, meaning that every member must agree before you can get an agreement. It's not like let's say the World Bank or the IMF, where it shares, you know, based on economic power. So the richer countries have greater power. At the WTO, everyone is equal. Every country is equal, from the smallest island to the largest US. They all have the same voice, which is wonderful, because it means developing countries have a strong voice. But it also means gridlock sometimes, because getting everyone to agree is difficult. Nevertheless, we were able to break the impasse last June to negotiate, conclude some agreements. The fisheries. Why is fisheries negotiating away $22 billion in harmful fishery subsidies that allow big ships to come and fish the waters and overfish so that our fishermen and women don't have access? It's very important. There are 260 million people that depend on fisheries for a livelihood in the world, 12 million in Africa. And I know there are many Ghanaian fishermen and women along the coast. But many of them don't survive because the waters are what? Overfished. I know that from Ghana, there's a place I have near Lagos on the coast. And there are a lot of Ghanaian fisherwomen and men who have migrated there and are living right next to me. And I asked them, why are they there? Why did they leave Ghana? They said because they can't find any fish in their waters. This agreement, therefore, goes to the basics. If we want the fishermen and women in this country to have a livelihood, we must stop the overfishing and the illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing in the high seas. That's what this agreement does. So it really speaks to something fundamental to us. So that's the first one. Another agreement we're able to come to has to do with food. As you know, because of the war in Ukraine, the Russia-Ukraine war, food prices have risen very high. And that is compounded by issues like climate change, where some countries are experiencing droughts. They cannot grow food. Others are floods, like Pakistan. All Pakistan's crops were flooded, 80% lost. So food prices have been going high. At the WTO, what members did initially was to put export restrictions and say, oh, price of food is high, therefore no one can export food from my country. What does that do? It makes the price of food globally climb even higher. Wheat, rice, oils, all these things. What we did at the WTO is to get members to sign an agreement to drop those export restrictions because we found they were making food even more scarce and more costly. So price of food is high here due to a number of factors. But one of the things I can tell you is that without that agreement, it would be even worse. And inflation, food inflation will be higher. We also had an agreement to drop all restrictions for humanitarian food supplies. Before, our members had restrictions so that when the World Food Programme wants to buy food to feed people in the Horn of Africa, they couldn't. Now we dropped all of that. So those are just to give you some examples of the things that we're doing that strike immediately at the needs of people. And that's what we were able to negotiate. There were some other agreements. I want to mention one last one. When we were here in the midst of COVID, there were no vaccines. Do you remember? Initially, we had none. African countries were at the back of the queue because we don't manufacture vaccines. We don't manufacture many pharmaceuticals. We import 99% of the vaccines we need on the continent and 90% of the pharmaceuticals. So we didn't have any capacity. And those who were rich were able to buy up the vaccines whilst we waited. So at the WTO, we have an agreement called the TRIPS, the Intellectual Property, it's an agreement about intellectual property and patents, which is lodged at the WTO, which means that you cannot go and manufacture things without proper permission. Otherwise, you are exploiting the intellectual property of others. So we had to, developing countries made a petition that this agreement should be waived, aspects of it, so that we can manufacture COVID-19 vaccines here. But when I came, this was stuck at the WTO. So we had to go to great lengths to try to get that agreement, to get the waiver that was being sought. so that on the continent we can manufacture COVID-19 vaccines. Now, His Excellency, Mr. President, has been working really hard to get manufacturing capacity here. I know that. But this agreement will enable us for the next 5 years, any country that wants to manufacture can get the waiver to do that. So that was another thing we agreed.
Thank Mr. President in particular and his government in general for delivering on his promise to give us this facility. And I want to say, Mr. President, again, Mr. President, for the last time, Mr. President, we thank you very much. Why do I have to mention Mr. President's name thrice? Because what we are seeing is the first of its kind in my own life history. And for that, we are eternally grateful to you, Mr. President, and your government. And I hope generations that will come after us will come and also extend their great gratitude to you even when we are long gone.
We are gathered here this morning because of the vision of the President to give a facelift to our urban cities through his government's policy of urban redevelopment schemes. Historically, large tracts of lands have been allocated to state agencies for projects, of which very small portions are actually utilized, leaving large portions of such lands unused. This, perhaps, was not a problem in 1957, when we were only 6 million people. Today, with a population of over 30 million, it is important that we put our lands to optimal and judicious use. This is why the Urban Redevelopment Scheme is being implemented by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources in partnership with the Lands Commission and the Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority, LUSPA, to utilize such lands in a manner that will contribute to the socio-economic development of our country. This scheme is being implemented in areas such as Kumasi Sector 18, which comprises of Ridge, Danyame, and Inshiasu residential areas, Old Tamale Airport, Ridge Sectors 1, 2, and 3 residential areas in Cape Coast, as well as the Aviation City here in Accra. The Aviation City area encompasses land adjacent Airport City and stretches from Stanbic Heights through the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA, to the Ministry of Defense. Currently, the land hosts a number of installations for the Ghana Police Service, including a barracks with primary and junior high schools, mobile force quarters, rapid deployment force, national protection unit, fuel depot, and workshop. Other occupants in the area include the Band Trooping Army of the Ghana Armed Forces, the West African Examination Council, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, Ghana Airport Company Limited, and the Ghana Meteorological Agency. The Aviation City redevelopment requires that all these agencies are relocated to free up the land for redevelopment. This has led to the construction of this barracks for the Ghana Police Service through a public-private partnership to relocate the personnel of the Ghana Police Service in the Aviation City enclave to this barracks.
I must at the outset thank the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources under the leadership of its dynamic minister, Samuel A. Jinapo, Member of Parliament for Damango, and everyone involved in this project and in the Aviation City project. It is testament to government's resolve to modernizing our cities and providing decent accommodation and housing for our men and women in uniform. This facility which I'm commissioning today is the outcome of one such urban renewal program, the Aviation City Redevelopment Project at the Airport Enclave. It is to pave way for this redevelopment that these state-of-the-art facilities have been constructed through a public-private partnership with unique development company for our hard-working men and women of the Ghana Police Service. The facility is made up of 514 one- and two-bedroom self-contained flats, of which 322 have been completed and ready for occupation. These units are fitted with modern facilities and will serve as comfortable homes and afford a conducive working environment for police officers and their families. In addition to the residential accommodations, this project also provides a school with modern facilities, a clinic, an AstroTurf football field, a tennis court, a standby generator, a police station, a fuel filling station, a workshop enclave, and other essential amenities. This is further testimony of our unwavering commitment to provide decent accommodation and other facilities for our security personnel. Not only will this facility improve the welfare of the police officers, it will also enhance their capacity to serve our nation even more effectively. As we commission the first phase of this project, I urge the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the Lands Commission and Unique Development Company to work in earnest and complete the remaining 192 housing units and other facilities that make up the second phase of the project. I've been briefed that work is also far advanced on the construction of 15-bedroom self-contained flats for the Ghana Meteorological Agency, the Ghana Airport Company Limited, and the Greater Accra Regional Office of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA. The completion of these projects is crucial to the implementation of the Aviation City project. Once again, I want to commend all those who have worked for the success of this project. And let me mention specifically Unique Development Company Limited for partnering with government to put up these facilities for the police service and for the excellent quality of its work. This obviously is a great step towards the redevelopment of the Aviation City Enclave, which will give a positive facelift to our capital city. Let me assure you, ladies and gentlemen, of my full commitment to the realization of this project towards the Ghana we aspire. I'm confident that with God's guidance and your support, we will achieve our vision of a developed, progressive, and prosperous Ghana.
Welcome to Media Kotoku, to what promises to be a milestone of well-being for ourselves and for posterity as we break ground for the DEK Vaccines Limited, a multiple vaccine manufacturing factory right here in Ghana, as we provide hope for a healthier Africa and prepare her against any unforeseen pandemics.
Your Excellency, we are here today due to the impact of your vision and initiative to set up the Presidential Vaccines Manufacturing Committee especially Prof. Kabra Frimpong Boateng and Dr. Nsiasari, who have worked so hard to assemble technical expertise to help bring vaccine manufacturing to Ghana. Today, DK Vaccines is here to make Your Excellency's vision a reality.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all started on 28th February 2021 in update 24 of what has come to be known as the Fellow Ghanaian series of addresses to the nation at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when I declared to the Ghanaian people my determination to see to the manufacture of vaccines here in Ghana. The vaccine nationalism that was played out by the developed world with the rollout of COVID-19 vaccines meant that we had to take urgent, critical steps towards making sure that never again would we be victims or pawns of the international vaccine order. It was imperative that we took our destiny into our own hands. However, as has become the norm, right from my days in opposition to my becoming President of the Republic, any idea proposed, whether it is free senior high school education or one district, one factory policy, is scoffed at by those who claim they are lofty ideas which could not be implemented. The idea to manufacture our own vaccines was not spared either. In spite of these, I went ahead to establish a committee under the chairmanship of the former Minister for Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, Professor Kabra Frimpong Boateng, to formulate a concrete plan of action towards domestic vaccine development and manufacturing. The plan of action culminated in the announcement of the establishment in July 2021 of the National Vaccine Institute with seed funding of 25 million United States dollars from the European Investment Bank. Indeed, some 2 months ago, on 14th February 2023, the National Vaccine Institute Bill was enacted by Parliament, for which I have given assent, and whose board of directors will soon be outdoor. Its establishment has enabled the National Vaccine Institute work in unison with ministries, departments, and agencies in Ghana to boost our country's capacity to be self-reliant in the production of vaccines and bring all of us to this gathering where work on the construction of the factory of DEKS Vaccines Limited will soon begin. We want to achieve self-sufficiency in vaccine production to meet future national, regional, and continental needs for health security. We shall not then in the future be at the mercy of foreign vaccine nationalism and geopolitics.
When ECG began this program, I always communicated to the management that I would demonstrate our support for this program by physically visiting one or two entities with them. And that is what I've done today, and probably I'll do on Friday. The ECG, I think, said that the amount of money that they intend to collect or has not been paid over a certain period was over 5 billion. I would like to know when they finish the program how much they've been able to collect and why they were not able to collect probably 80% of the bill. I don't believe in success factors we cannot all clap to. If they think the program has been successful, they must demonstrate it in how much they've retrieved. If not, what has caused their inability to retrieve it, and what plans are they having for subsequent visits. there shouldn't be some payers of electricity and others who are, we call, non-payers of electricity. Whether it's because the meter is not working, or it's because you are doing things, or you are using a meter not certified, or you are bypassing the ECG system. Who should pay for who to enjoy? We should all know that ECG is rendering such a vital service for all Ghanaians, especially in their zone. And everybody must prioritize paying electricity. We should really look back for when we were not enjoying electricity and we were all having generators. And if you like, all of you do a study. Switch off your ECG, prepayment system, don't pay for 1 month, and use generator for 1 month and compare the bills. I don't believe that people would say ECG has increased or PRC has increased tariff. Last year and this year, everything has increased. Your house rent has increased, your food cost has increased, your transportation cost has increased. So how could ECG have functioned within that period without increasing tariff? It beggars belief. Workers have even called for a cooler or things, support, or the relatives. So we all have to understand that without energy, there is no economy. And everybody must pay. You can't want lights and shout if lights are not on and you shout against government. And if lights are on, you say, I won't pay my bill. My ministry operates on prepaid meters. We have to be responsible to our duties, or else we should stop asking government for electricity. Once you see it, once we all see the visible improvement in electricity system over the years compared to some years back, we should all make it a point to advise Ghanaians, everybody you know. We live in the same neighborhood. You already know those who are not paying. You even know those who are doing illegal connections. You either have to give us a tip-off or you have to encourage those people to be. The more people pay, the less the bill will be. Okay. If 30% of Ghanaians are not paying, or ECG is not able to collect 30% of the money, it means only 70% are paying for the 100%. And obviously, the bills will be higher. PRC is a body that has been set up by Ghanaians for Ghanaians to work on behalf of consumers. So they come up with a rational tariff, a tariff that they deem must be affordable and can be affordable. I would like people to really compare 1st January 2016, the price, and 1st January 2022, the price in dollar terms, and see which one was even cheaper. I can put it on record that when you do the sums, it's probably far cheaper in 2022. So ECG has faced a tremendous pressure to deliver. Because without ECG, we all hear that the government is restructuring the debts with the independent power producers. They all rely on ECG to pay these power producers. And if ECG cannot collect the amount of money it has to collect, the independent power producers will never have enough money to pay to continue producing the power for all of us to enjoy. We have to live responsibly. I lived in another country where you are taught how to read your own meter and pay on credit. You see, when I talk about responsibility, I really mean that we are up and running. You don't say food prices are expensive or extremely high, so you wouldn't eat. You would rather start looking at what you eat and how many times you eat and readjust to your pockets, right? I'm saying after food, probably the next thing is about energy, whether electricity or energy for our car. In the last year, I think we've all heard the trotro drivers and taxi drivers and everything increase prices incessantly. After every fuel price adjustment, we are being told to pay more for power. If you think that you cannot pay, you find a way of working more efficiently or better. So if you go to work 5 times a week and your work would permit, you will start probably going 3 times a week. But you cannot say you are not going to go to work. So the other side is how much we consume the energy at home. We should use more energy efficient equipment, right? We should use more energy equipment, and we should make sure when we are leaving our homes, we don't leave the electricity on. If you check the last PURC tariff adjustment, they did far better for SLTs than has ever happened in this country. Let us trust the systems that we have operating. The last PURC tariff adjustment, they did work for the SLTs. But it's not only energy, it is the key component in industrialization. But if we are the same people, we are not paying for the bills, whose company should make profit for ECG to make a loss? And who should fill up the ECG losses for who to make a profit? It's a simple question. If you say he's employing 1,000 people, so he should not pay electricity, who should pay the electricity? That's my whole question. I'm not saying that if the electricity bill could get cheaper, we shouldn't make it so. We've demonstrated in part, as well as the sensitivity of this government, that the December price of fuel and the April price of fuel, there's a marked difference. The benefits of government policy has accrued to Ghanaians. If it's possible in electricity, like I said, the PRC in price rate determination and last price review, I think they did better for SLTs. And we want even to do better with PRC. They want to come to the position like fuel, where the price is the same. Okay. That's where I want to get to.
We are very delighted that you are spreading good works around the world. You decide to support this foundation. So many children are going to benefit from the hard work that you are doing. As a country, Ghana, the Promotional Ghana Foundation has been working very hard to try and deliver comprehensive cleft care for the children in as timely manner as possible. We had a little bit of setback during the COVID period, so we couldn't undertake a lot of the activities because usually it was outreach based. But then there's a saying that necessity is a matter of invention. We used to go out from here, but then during the COVID, we realized that, look, then if we can't go out and do the outreach, then why don't we find a way of bringing them in-house to, and schedule them throughout the course of the year. And so that has been going on and successfully for some time now. And we do also get sometimes organized, specialized surgeries where we have more complex cases, and then we bring in our colleagues from other parts of the world so that together we will share ideas how to manage some of these more complex cases. But as I'm sure you've been around the world, and as you can imagine, we could actually triple our output, but we are limited with space in terms of the world space because the patients here have to compete with all the other plastic reconstructive surgery cases. So they have to compete with burns, with contractures, with congenital deformities and all that. So in fact, one of the dreams that we have is to be able to expand our ward space so that we can go do an extension of our ward so that we can have a bit more space. In that way, we can accommodate a lot of our patients, because what happens is that when they come in, you know that for the cleft children, they cannot come alone. They will come with a parent. And so we need to find somewhere for the parent to stay and how they're going to be looked after, and it becomes a bit of a challenge. You've done something for us, and we are grateful, but Oliver Twins always asks for more, So I mean, you can think about it and consider it, and if it falls within the ambit of charity to help us, I think that would be really, really great, because then it means you can triple our output so that we won't have children who are very grown with speech. The earlier we do the correction, the better, speech to people. But and we're looking at not just surgery, but about nutrition, about speech development, and all that, dental, and all the other things are coming together. And the local foundation is doing its best under our able chairman, Mr. Subi Akkad, who has really driven hard, making sure that we are cost efficient. So this is one of the few places where we count every penny. If so you can be sure that if any money that you put in here will be put to good use. It just shows the passion and the commitment that we have towards these patients, and we want to make sure that no child is left behind. Because we go around the country and we still find people who have grown through their childhood to adulthood with an unrepaired cleft, which can be done in 30 to 45 minutes of surgery, and it's an indictment on all of us if such people exist. So we are committed to doing the work, but I think we would need your support, and so we are grateful that you've come on board at this time.